The 2019 Tour de France is go, and so are the daily GCN Racing highlights. Stage 1 starts and finishes not in France, but in Brussels, Belgium. The riders face 194.5 predominantly flat kilometres, bar the two early climbs of the Muur van Geraardsbergen and the Bosberg. Today, they are the only points on offer in the King of the Mountains competition, a Cat 3 and a Cat 4 respectively. Christian Prudhomme, the race director, has the honour of getting the race underway. It's the 106th edition of the Tour, and a breakaway group of 4 riders establishes itself exceedingly quickly, with the peloton only too keen to let them go, effectively blocking any further attempts of riders trying to get away, so the sprinters' teams can be confident in chasing them down. The 4 to try their luck are Mads Vert Schmidt, Nathanael Bahani, the 28-year-old Eritrean national champion, Xandro Maurice from Belgium, and also Greg van Avermaet of CCC, the Olympic champ and classics legend. They quickly establish a gap of 2 minutes and 30 seconds, with the teams of all the big sprinters, bar Peter Sagan's Bora Hansgrohe squad, on the front of the peloton and safeguarding their interests. Van Avermaet quickly establishes his intentions by setting a red-hot pace up the cobbles of the Muur. Maurice does well to hold his wheel at that tempo, but can't quite get around the classics veteran, leaving Van Avermaet to take the 2 points on offer and effectively earning the polka dot jersey in the process. Maurice takes the Bosberg, but with only 1 point on offer there. Although they're now tied, he won't be in the jersey due to the Muur being a Cat 3. Knowing his work is done, Van Avermaet then sits up, happy to go back to the peloton and to try to stay out of trouble and save his legs perhaps for the team time trial tomorrow. That flag over there is tribute to the great Eddy Merckx. It's 50 years since his first victory at the race, where he won not only the yellow jersey, but all the other jerseys as well. Now, the sector of cobbles called Pavé Timéant and Bora Hansgrohe are getting excited. They're lighting it up and taking many riders by surprise. One of the day's favourites, Elia Viviani, suffers a puncture. Now, potentially not disastrous for him with 75 k's remaining, but it is disastrous for the breakaway. And it's a smart move from Bora Hansgrohe because the intermediate sprint is looming soon after, and Sagan is then able to take maximum points with ease, with only a few of his major sprint rivals in sight. Sonny Colbrelli taking second place on the line there. Now, a temporary truce after that means that the race can regroup and Viviani can breathe a sigh of relief, as can GC rider Dan Martin, who also got caught out on that section of cobbles. Stefan Rossetto of Cofidis launches the next move, and unfortunately, no one joins him, leaving the Frenchman to plough a lonely furrow. Although, you have to say, it's not a bad way to start your first ever Tour de France. Once again, the sprinters' teams are leading the peloton behind. Soudal Lotto, Jumbo Visma and De Koning Quickstep all chasing the lone leader. Then, at 18 kilometres to go, we've got our first crash of the day. And among the carnage, it looks like one of the big favourites, Jakob Fuglsang, has gone down hard. You can see the scuffs on his jersey and shorts, but it's perhaps the cut to his face that looks the most concerning. He does not look comfortable at all. Up front, and Rossetto is caught with 9.5 k's to go. Precise moment where Fuglsang makes it back to the peloton. And you can see all the major teams represented up front as we're tearing through the streets of downtown Brussels. Bora Hansgrohe keeping Peter Sagan out of trouble, and just as well, because with 1.5 k's to go, there is a big crash, and among the riders down, Dylan Groenewegen perhaps will be ruining his losses. A big favourite for today's stage, but he will not be contesting the finish. Michael Matthews is forced to lead the sprint out early with 250 minutes to go. Peter Sagan goes round him, as does Sonny Colbrelli on the right-hand side of your picture. Caleb Ewan looking to sneak up the middle, but he gets boxed in. And then at the last minute, we've got Mike Turnison making a strong lunge for the line, and it looks like he edges it from Peter Sagan with an exceedingly well-timed bike throw. And that is a big, big surprise, not least because Mike Turnison is actually Groenewegen's lead-out man. And here he is taking the biggest win of his career. So you can see it was super close between him and Sagan. The results there, Turnison takes the win from Sagan. Caleb Ewan finishes in third. Nizzolo, Colbrelli fourth and fifth. Michael Matthews does very well to hold on to sixth place after leading it out. But Turnison there, once again, taking the biggest win of his career. Even sweeter because, of course, he also takes the first yellow jersey of this year's race. Sagan 4 seconds back on time bonuses, Ewan 6 seconds back on time bonuses, and then, of course, the rest of the field all follow suit. Unlikely that any of the GC riders will have lost time through that crash as it came inside the last 3 kilometres. Stage 2 tomorrow is once again Brussels to Brussels, but a 27.5 kilometre team time trial. Undoubtedly, we will see a big shake-up in the general classification. Join us here tomorrow on GCN Racing for the highlights.